So I'm really looking forward to it. Bloody Heads, show us your best game right here, right now, and just throw everyone else off the seat. And speaking of going off the seats, it does seem like all of these players are jumping right off the seats from the plane as the flight paths drew itself from 2 o'clock all the way to 7 o'clock. And a lot of these teams are pretty far apart from one another, so I wouldn't be expecting a lot of early game action.
And just judging by how the teams are dropping Geek Fam, again, putting themselves in a very, very safe position on the southeastern side, whereas we're getting Auto Knockout and SAF already bumping into each other at the sub. So Auto Knockout in that previous round, they were able to make it in the top 7. I believe they were knocked out by Geek Fam. SAF as well had a pretty decent finish for, I think they were top 3 in fact, but it seems like this time it's gonna at least be the same. We won't see any teams going for the early exit. SAF decided to completely evacuate from the sub. They will hand it over to Auto Knockout, which I really like. I think more and more teams are doing this. Instead of just fighting, they are weighing the options, the risk and the return scale, and then they just decide, if we can't beat this, let's just back off. But STP Son of Gun, they found their first victim. It is going to Blank from Bloody Hit, but fortunately for Blank, he's able to get away, at least for now. Akif is not going to let this go to waste as he tries to chase down this lone isolated member of Bloody Hits, and this might just be the very first point Blank trying to use the cover of the terrain to protect himself, but it's only a matter of time until Akif sees him. And yeah, Blank running onto the freeway. He's going to be down, and there's no one there to save him. That's going to be first blood going over to STP Son of Gun.
What happened? Why is Blank all the way alone at the northern side of Mammoth, just dashing for his life all alone? Where are the rest of Bloody Heads? And why are they all completely far apart from him? So it does seem like Bloody Heads, they are right across of Mammoth, and quite a fair bit as well. So I really don't understand what is going on here. Why, Bloody Heads? Why?
It's I have the same questions as you have. I want to say perhaps they want to send Blank out to scout, the 1-3 split, but I don't know. There's also a chance that he kind of messed up his drop point, because he was definitely running towards his team. We saw the rest of Bloody Hit near Mammoth, on the northern side of Mammoth, after where Blank was killed. So that was slightly odd for Bloody Hit, but if we look at views right now, for this round at least, they're going to be playing with only 3 members instead of 4.
Yeah, and there's nothing much that Bloody Heads can do, and in fact, they're talking about 3 members. Make that into 2 members, as Bloody Head is going to be left with ZJ and Pogs, and it is pretty important because now we don't have Blank, we don't have Mark, part of Bloody Heads right now. So the expectations of the side of Bloody Heads is going to be pretty darn low, especially since when Watch and Learn is literally just running right into the faces of Bloody Heads, being able to knock down ZJ and also eliminate him once and for all. And now Bloody Heads is going to be leave themselves with 1 last man remaining, and if whether he's able to survive it all is all up to him.
The Steady Squad getting shot at from behind as well, so they're gonna quickly run. Don't think they're gonna drop by Council Hall at all. At least they will take refuge in this one isolated building. So a safe spot for them to be at. No one is gonna contest that as we look at Divinity, who just kind of passed by or entered Bayfront. They will have Steady Squad right opposite of them. So these 2 teams, they're just separated by the river. It depends on how the circle is going to be, though. I would say Steady Squad has a slightly better position because they have XL covering the other side. But at the same time, XL has to survive because he is surrounded by the rest of Divinity, and I think he has that information. So the rest of Steady Squad, they have to come and back him up immediately, because if XL goes down, Steady Squad is going to lose full control of the territory, and they will find it pretty hard to cross through. XL was able to make it out, but that also exposes the rest of Steady Squad towards Divinity. And with Divinity controlling this whole building, they're going to be safe to take on Steady Squad if they need to.
And Divinity Esports, I believe that how they usually play is to go all in and all out in breach tactics. It does seem like they are going off a little bit of a slow end this time and in this tournament. So waiting for the perfect time where Divinity just realized that, hey, let's all just jump right in. But speaking of jumping right in, it does seem like we do have AB Ligers that will be jumping right into the phases of Auto Knockout as well. And now Auto Knockout do have like 2 men down. It is going to be 3 versus 2 kind of scenario. Yamin is just going to be running himself away from AB Ligers as fast as possible. But on a second thought, it does seem like it is in some sense 2 versus 2 because Shers is all the way at the top of this watchtower with his Dragonov. So he's in a good place. He's very safe as well. So if Auto Knockout were to run away from AV Ligers, it's going to be tough because they're just going to be in the crosshairs of Shers. But in fact, if they were to keep themselves inside of buildings and go for a 2 versus 2 fight, there are going to be so much more advantages.
I definitely feel that for Auto Knockout, the best move right now is to back off. Now you kind of know where Cheers is, right? You know where the enemy sniper is. Now you just need to move as far away as possible with the cover of those warehouses. And yeah, you can see Cheers still searching for the Auto Knockout members, but they have already left the area. So Auto Knockout able to survive that, and they were also able to take out Red Panda. So it's not exactly a fully good trade. They lost more, they suffered more casualties, but it's better than nothing. You know, they still got away with their lives. But it seems like they are hanging nearby, though, at the edge of it. With Chess now coming down from that vantage point, AV Ligers have lost control of the bird's eye view. So if they were to get ambushed by Auto Knockout, I would say it is possible for them to turn it around. However, watch and learn, they've also just checked into command post. So we might see an even messier fight.
Talk about timing. The timing coming from the side of Watch and Learn coming in, and also with the fact that AV Ligers have abandoned their bird's eye view is really sad. And at this point of time, Venom did manage to get a shot onto Shotgun, and if they had that one person on the watchtower, they would have been able to avoid all this tragedy. And thus, bad timing really is pretty devastating. And thus, we do have Shogun. He's still pretty much okay for now. He did manage to get himself picked up by his fellow friend, Shares, Pipenda. They are all together with Shogun, so they would want to get themselves away from all of this, or else it's going to be a three-way road split, and in fact, a fatal 3-way. They really need to get themselves out of there, or they need to find Auto Knockout, get them out of here, then run away.
It's gonna be a tall order though, because whoever makes the first move right now is going to be exposed to 2 other teams. It's also a matter of whether AV Ligers or AKO knows about Watch and Learn's presence, and the circle kind of closing in more towards the eastern side as Divinity. They just walk past Santa Catarina, so they might run into Geek Fam. War in the center, and in fact, I believe Divinity have already opened fire onto Geek Fam. So Geek Fam. So for these 2 teams right now, whoever wins out will be able to take control of the center of the circle, which kind of has its pros and cons. If you're in the center, you have to fend off against a lot of other squads. But Divinity, they're gonna bite their tongue for now and not take on Geek Fam. They realize that okay, they have control over their own area. There is potential to gatekeep, so just play it slow and wait until the circle closes in. This is just the second phase. There's no need to risk your life and end up not getting anything in return.
Yeah, I didn't quite realize that command post is actually a really good spot for people to go to, and that explains as well why Watch and Learn is around the area and why 2 other teams is around command post. Whichever team that get themselves the entire area of command post, and of course the watchtower of command post, that is going to give them the grand bird's eye view and being able to find out and knowing where everyone else is just so that they can avoid all kinds of rear attacks and even a good amount of scout for the frontal assault. And in the meantime, it does seem like Watch and Learn has also found himself with some victim, and that is going to come in the form of auto knockout. We do have Zen as well as Yamin. They're just going to be holding themselves up right within these two buildings. And Demon as well as Clanks, they are all ready for this frontal assault right onto auto knockout with Yamin jumping right on. Unfortunately, the time turner being popped down by Watch and Learn is just a little bit too fast for him to handle. And Zen, he just runs himself right back to the building, but unfortunately just a little bit too much for him to handle. And thus, being knocked down and gunned down by all 4 members of Watch and Learn. His riddled in bullets and all of the bullets connected, and thus he's gonna go right down into the hellhole it came from. And in the meantime, Bloody Heads as well. We do have Hogs that's currently being absorbed and being eliminated by the blue zone. It's a lot better committing suicide than giving the 3 points over to Steady Squad.
Another early exit for Bloody Head. That was unfortunate. No, he did have much places to run to. Auto knockout was never gonna win that fight, so it was pretty weird that they took on Watch and Learn under those circumstances. Perhaps they were forced to, but this circle took a huge turn towards the northern side, so GeekFam had to evacuate close to Santa Catarina. Divinity made the right choice to not engage GeekFam just now because they hold the perimeter of the circle, and that's going to give them a huge advantage. But meanwhile, Awesome, they're going to take on SAF. This is going to be pretty important though, because SAF is nearby. There's also STP Son of Gun behind as well. Awesome caught in the middle of the 3-way conflict, and they have to kind of fight their way up, but it seems pretty much impossible because QB will be down. Coco is the only one left alive. With the glue wall and the blue zone closing in, everything is not in their favor, and Awesome will eventually fall prey to SAF. SAF with 3 kills in the back. Now they will have to kind of run into the safe zone, but they will also run into STP Son of Gun as Miros will surprise one team and secure that kill for himself. GeekFam kind of being playing on this perimeter will be able to gatekeep both STP Son of Gun and I believe Divinity, who might also come in from the area as well.
This is going to be a lot bigger than you will realize. Watch and Learn, although they had such a great start, they managed to get themselves 3 kills, but now they're being consumed by the storm, being just deleted as well as being damaged so badly. He wasn't even able to do anything, and thus Watch and Learn is going to be eliminated as they suicide themselves inside of the storm. Out in number 8. Batman from Divinity Esports, he pushed himself right behind all these boxes, and of course he's just consuming the storm just for a little bit, perhaps just going for a little bit looting here in a looting spree. But Divinity is the ultimate victor at the side of the southern area of this current news zone. They are not going to know of the presence of SAF that is going to be at the eastern side, but Divinity, the way that they are moving is going to be all the way towards the eastern side, towards the western side that we are able to see. And well, I can be sure Divinity is going to be one of the top contenders running in this tournament based on their positions and based on like the amount of players left.
That is a huge possibility. AV Liger just got knocked out. Divinity, let's say they made the right decision to get here and they were able to get something in return, and let's go. There is nowhere. That is not the place you want to be, but doesn't have much to work with, so he's going to be eliminating the SAF out in 6th place. As GeekFam, they're going to rush in and immediately try to go for the ambush. They're taking kills after kills. Wills, they want to sneak something in return, but the XZ's going to punish NBA Law for trying to interfere with that, and that is going to be bad news for Wheels because GeekFam, again, with their methodical play, they're taking over so much territory. The circle is not in their favor though, so GeekFam, they will have to kind of make quick work of this. And X-Tag, what a scope on the NBA Law. He just got picked up. You can't keep doing this to it. Secret movement, trapped outside the building. Yat is still hiding behind, and GeekFam, they're not checking their They're not checking the 6. They don't know the Yat is there, so maybe Yat can surprise them, and maybe there's gonna be a possibility. No, they found him. Arkeep's gonna eliminate Yat. And Steady Squad, they're pretty busy because they're occupied by Divinity. The grenade launcher is gonna start getting used as Batman is gonna bomb XL, but the glue wall is gonna allow them to pick XL back to life. Another grenade launcher flies through from a piss this time, and Wheels, they're down to their last member, their last legs. They need to bail out from this, but there's only going to be the crosshair of Geek Fam that's gonna be the destination. And Geek Fam, 4 men remaining, 7 kills in the bag. Divinity goes down to Steady Squad, and Geek Fam, they're gonna run in for the final kill. They just want to go. Geek Fam, is this it? The 4 Booyah is so inside. It seems like Geek Fam, they are just too damn strong. Another Booyah for Geek Fam. Make this number 4.
What the hell?